Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show all about the shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg, and this is...
Nerd Bully, Matt Strange. I'm going to mix it up.
You were nerd elitist before I screwed up the recording.
I was, but then I realised I'm arguably more of a bully, now I think about it. But I like to think of myself as a light-hearted and fun bully.
Right.
Do
you want to do your public service announcement again about liking the things you like?
Yeah, why not? So I like to spend my time, many listeners, harassing people who like nerdy things that I don't like. D&D 5th edition. Newer Star Wars films. People who are obsessed with every Marvel property. And people get so angry about it because they've made these things their identity. I have a huge collection of 2000 AD comic books. I've got 500 quid worth of Dragon Ball Z figures at least. And people go to me, they go, but Strange, Dragon Ball Z shit. And I go, not wrong, it's not the best written thing out there. But nostalgia coupled with screamy man punch hard fills me with joy. Like what you like. It's okay for other people not to like what you like. For example, Firefly, it's okay. It's not amazing. It's not the best sci-fi ever. It's alright. I'd love to see Joss Whedon write a strong woman who doesn't know martial arts, for example. But people get so angry. Love what you love. Don't make it your identity. You can love it, but don't make it you. This is a heartwarming, wholesome moment from Matt Strange, nerd elitist and bully. It's okay not to like things, and it's okay for people not to like what you like. Give a fuck. Big Trouble in Little China is the best film ever made, and I will fight you. There we go. How are you, Morg?
I'm okay. So...
welcome to our wrestling podcast.
This may be the first... Well, there you go, there's another thing. Wrestling.
Yeah.
Wrestling's dumb as shit.
Console wars over AEW and WWE are the most fucking ludicrous things. But I like Nintendo.
Do you know the problem with that is, though? I do feel that, and part of that is because we do this, but I do feel very entrenched in the AEW side of things.
Is it because all of the people you like from WWE are now in AEW?
Or could be
more
soon.
on that shortly. Fucking hell!
Right.
No, it's
before we
go on. Let's do the show.
Let's before we get to my rant. This might be the first time you listen to our podcast, and as such, you would need to know that we have a tier system, which is how we give our reviews of the individual matches of Dynamite and Rampage and give our overall scores. Mr. Strange, are you ready to explain the tier system?
I am fucking ready. You all know a good tier list. There's a particularly good channel on YouTube called Tier Zoo that do lots of them on animals. But anyway, tier list. A little bit of history of a tier system. It actually comes from the Japanese school system, not the British school system, which is why it's an S and not an A star. You get that if you've played old Japanese computer games like Resident Evil, and the S actually stands for Sugoi or superior. Weird little fact about it. Anyway, unless we're being facetious, we don't go below a D. D is our lowest rank match. A D is a shitty match or a shitty segment. We'll rate promos as well, don't you worry. The time is wasted. It's an awful squash. The character didn't give over. You don't give a fuck. It's a D. There we rock up to a C. A C is good. Good is what we expect from the majority of the show. Not necessarily filler, but you're entertained. The promo section gets the wrestler over. The wrestling match is good. You know, enough stuff goes on. It passes at least 7 minutes, my mark for being above a squash match. And you might not be writing home about it, but you were entertained. The most common one I like to give out if I'm feeling positive is a B, or match +1 or segment +1. The match is just that little bit tighter. There's definitely some story in it, whether it be through promos beforehand or just told in the ring. Promo segments can be B as well. Typically MJFs, your Moxleys, your Jerichos just knock out straight Bs above the board. You know, better than good. God, I've just been reminded of the Ren and Stimpy Wood song. It's better than bad, it's good. It's better than good, it's ace. B. A. A is hopefully our top of the week. Very rarely do we bust out the next rank, which is magical. A segment of the matches you don't look away from. You get the character over. You get both characters over. You know why they're there. The wrestling is solid. Cool stuff happens. The story comes before and after. An A-rank promo is an amazing one. The kinds of promos Cody cut when people liked him. More on that later. Yeah, sharp things that get the character across, that you watch and you enjoy, and it enhances wrestling as a whole. And magical moments. You know what I'm gonna say? Luchadors and ninjas, fucking undead wizards and biker gangs, all manner of your different cinematic stuff. But it doesn't have to be cinematic stuff. It could be comedy stuff. We've had the Stadium Stampede. The first one especially was an S. But you also get just cool, crisp story-ending moments or story-starting moments. Anything which is phenomenal, be it promo or wrestling that you message your friends or share gifs of, or memes in my case from, that's your S-rank moments. So D, bad. C, good. B, very good. A, awesome. And S, Sugoi, magical. There we go.
Awesome.
Drum solo at the end.
Yeah, I like that little addition.
My pen has flung across the room because I did that.
So, should we kick off with some news?
Yeah, news, and it'll bleed into social media.
Yeah, no social media segment this week because all of social media is about some of the news.
Which we're about to cover.
So, should we do the close to home sad one first? John Moxley. Mox has checked himself into rehab for alcohol problems. I've got nothing more to say than just fair play, Mox. Good luck. I hope everything comes out all right.
Yeah, some people got mad about it being acknowledged by Tony Khan. He did a shout out on the old Twitter, but I think it's good. As we just said about AEW, quite like the fact that they have respect for their talent, and yeah, they'll go, he's in a bad place. He's going to be gone for a while. We've cut him. He hasn't been forced through a match before doing it. They just went, no, go get yourself healthy. It's not wonderful, but it's good to see a company care for its talent, shall we say.
Yes.
So, good luck.
Make a big difference.
And I'm going to segue that into a company that doesn't care about its talent.
What, you mean record profits again, Dubsy?
Record firings, Dubsy, that's the one. Due to budget cuts, 18 releases. I've got them here in alphabetical order. I don't know all of these people, so if I sound dismissive of them, it's just because I don't know them, or I know them by an indie name, shall we say. So I'll just go through them, Morg, and you can elaborate for me if you know better. There is one I know, obviously. EFAB of Hit Row.
No idea.
Ember Moon, you like her. I remember you talking about her.
Well, Ember Moon was on the list for people we'd like to jump ship.
Yeah, there we go.
I booked her jumping ship, if I remember correctly.
You did. It's a shame Ring of Honor's gone, because if they could have lasted a bit longer, it would have been wonderful for them. Eva Marie.
Meh.
Frankie Monet, otherwise known as Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah.
La Reina, AAA Queen of Queens for many years. Really well in Lucha Underground. Went to be with her husband, Bonnie, insert name of show or licensed member of the Doors here. I can't imagine he's happy. So yeah, I'd like to see Frankie anywhere. Hopefully she goes back to, I'd say Impact. Put her back against Jordan Gray. She's got a lot of chemistry and a lot of knowledge with people there. So hopefully she gets signed somewhere pretty quickly.
I'll be completely honest. I know exactly where I want her.
You want her in AEW?
She's one of the people on my list.
Yeah, fair. Grand Metallic?
Grand Metalik, I think he was a luchador wrestler. I'm so out of touch with Dubsy, so some of these are difficult.
Harry Smith, the British Bulldog's son, I believe.
Again.
I mean, he's a second-generation dude connected to the Hart family. That's instantly marketable no matter where you are, unless you're Teddy Hart, who should be in jail. G-Drama.
Never heard of him.
Jesse Camille.
No.
Karrion Kross. I've heard his name. People like him.
Oh, so he was the NXT champion. Was booked really well, and then moved up to the main roster and jobbed out to Jeff Hardy in no time at all.
That never happened.
He was an undefeatable monster in NXT, and this was the beginning of Vince just getting his paw prints all over NXT. Probably not Ring of Honor, sorry, Impact.
Definitely so. I've looked at him and he looks like an Impact man. That's in no way a downtread on Impact. Impact is very good and actually has intergender and stuff, which is a lovely, nice alternative in wrestling. Katrina Cortez.
I know that name, but I can't think why.
Here's a big one. Keith Lee. Very popular, very over.
We want him.
I think he's the one with the highest chance of showing up on AEW from this list thus far.
Yes.
Mostly because I don't think he worked much in the indies or around other places. But he knows Adam Cole and he's in with that proper NXT core. Lince Dorado, which annoys me because it's quite clearly El Dorado now I've looked at it.
Lindsay Dorado.
Good name. Lindsay
Dorado.
The French.
Another luchador, if I remember correctly.
Okay, I like luchadors. Mia Yim, I know her name.
Very good young up-and-comer. She had a really cool character on NXT, just being a cool wrestler, and then she got chucked in with that faction.
Oh, was she with
yes.
the Mad Max people? Oh, wonderful. Yes. Oh no. Nia Jax, I think that one's a little bit overdue due to injuring people.
Yeah, that's a weird one. We always thought that she'd have a job for life because she's The Rock's cousin.
I think you can only injure so many people before even Vince goes, no. Scarlett Bordeaux.
Karrion Kross's
pretty lady.
Karrion Kross's valet, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Oh, I missed one. I know this one because he tweets him and Chucky T tweet each other. Only Lorcan.
Yeah, that one's a shame.
He's a proper indie boy, though. All I know is about he tweeted continuously that in capital letters that he lived under a bench in a park and beat people up. And Chuck Taylor said he stole some of his. They're obviously friends. He's obviously one of the PWG boys. Trey Baxter. No. And I'm probably going to butcher this poor person's name. I'm not even going to make an assumption about their gender. Zaida Ramier or Ramir.
No idea.
Right, okay. But yeah, budget cuts. Another 18 people gone. Most of them NXT people.
Yeah. People that.
I don't want to laugh at this. It's not funny, but it is. You know.
Yeah.
What can you do?
I can just make those sound effects. Right, shall we move on?
Okay, a little bonus. Little bonus things from Matt Strange that he's seen on Twitter. In response to this, Dax FTR tweeted, "I wish Dubsy Dub would have won," which brought me great joy. But in other news, we've got a Rocky Romero match next week. On Dynamite, I believe, with Orange Cassidy and Rocky's Corner, and Chaos, the giant face faction from NJPW, was cited in it by Tony Khan. And in another promo post-match, the IWG US champion of NJPW, Kenta, called out CM Punk. We might get a go-to-sleep war.
Yeah, that's been waiting, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and now's the chance. And we've had Kenta jump over before, so it looks like, although we've had a quiet one on the old Forbidden Door for a couple of months, which I'm not against. As much as I love the Forbidden Door and the NJPW boys, give it a break every now and then. You've got plenty of talent in your own country. It'll be nice to have a bit more crossover every now and then, especially not with it all being Mox driven.
Yes.
Well, soon, Mox.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's the news. That's all I've seen.
Let's move on to Dynamite then and kick off our reviews.
Let's go.
So, Dynamite opens, JR Excalibur, Shivani on commentary, and we get Kenny Omega with Nakazawa versus Alan Five Angels. Kenny wins with 3 V-triggers. What did you think of the match and what score did you give it?
Really hot start to this match with good fight energy, which I liked. And it's really nice to see Angels back at full power. Do you remember when he first came in for some matches during Corona, he fought Phoenix and Kenny, and we were all like, holy shit, this guy's good. Pretty well-paced match, some great impacts. It's the Angels we used to see, as I just said. It had some chopper-striker exchanges, which I like. Don't have a lot more to say about it. I'd have liked Alan to do a little bit better. I'm glad Kenny won clean, because he's cheated a lot recently, and although Alan is very good, I think Kenny needs to show that I am Kenny Omega. I gave it a C. It was good. A bit of a short on that one, but yeah, it was just watchable.
High C. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Start. Warmed you up to the show.
Then we had a Kenny in-ring promo. Goes to one Wing Angel on 5. Hangman for the save. Thoughts?
Obviously, we had the beatdown and the obvious Hangman come out. I think my favourite thing in this was Hangman politely handing over the belt with, you've got it for 10 more days, or whatever it was he said. I thought that was really good face energy without appearing weak. So yeah, I'm very positive about that. And good build for the next, for what's coming, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, no, he got back up to help his mate. Yeah.
I've done it again. I've just muted myself.
How long have you been muted for, Morg?
Probably since you were talking last. Right, I'll quickly cut in what I was saying. The thing I liked was Alan Angels. I gave it a C, a high C, and I liked Alan Angels getting rid of the chair or helping Hangman.
Yeah, not completely failing and just lying on the floor.
Right.
Like I said, he came to be helped, but he wasn't, like, overwhelmingly helped.
Moving on, Malachi Black promo.
It was solid. I like the Caesar's knives comment. I'm still not sure why he's Andrade's friend. Maybe faction hint. More on this later. I've got a few additional things to say about it, but I think it's going to come in during a sea of criticism shortly, shall we say. Okay. Malachi's great on the promo. I love his presentation. I love the fact he's verbose. So I'll say it's good. I'll give it a C, but I don't necessarily like what it's connected to.
Right. CM Punk in-ring promo.
Serious Punk. He did a good set of cover for Mox, and I like that. I liked him coming out and actually going, this has happened, I'm supportive. And he is serious straight edge, man, so that makes sense. Into a promo on Eddie. I like the fact he rolled off somebody shouting, fight him, in the crowd. And he was like, well, he's not here. And I was like, oh, that's actually quite good. I like Punk on the mic. I've covered this several times. It had a lot of serious hints. It was solid and good. What did you think? Oh, Morg, you're the film mark.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
getting a lot of that this show.
Yeah, it is. Following on from that, Miro promo.
Said this last week that we could possibly do with a break from him. Obviously, he needed to build up to this match. It wasn't Miro at his best. You can tell he didn't quite have quite the prep he does normally, it seemed. Not quite as deeply heartfelt and righteous as some of the others, but obviously it's still solid. Well, I'm going to say that a lot this show. I think
the problem Miro had with this promo is he's doing this whole, my God has forsaken me, and now he's suddenly got a chance at the main belt. So I think he has got to switch where his promo was with this.
You're back in the tournament. Oh, shit, my murder arc.
Yes.
God damn it. But he'll get through, and we might actually get more in. Maybe we'll get Antichrist Miro after he loses to whoever wins the title.
So then we had an Elite Backstage segment, which Christian and Luchasaurus interrupt. Fights out into the arena. Any thoughts?
It was all right. I'm not sure it added much to the show. It felt a bit like filler, a little bit long, a little bit out of nowhere. Elite I'd forgotten they had a feud with Jurassic Express and some issues, because obviously it's all been with the Dark Order recently. So I was like, oh yeah, they're back. I can't say it was bad. I can say it was long, and if I have to give it a C rank, I'll give it a low C, but it was all right.
It was all right.
Morg soundbite.
Moving on. TBS Championship, Ruby and Statlander promo.
Solid for both. Lovely catch-up. Both characters are likeable. I hope Statlander wins. I really like Ruby Soho. She comes out to Rancid and wears punk clothes and obviously likes punk. That pleases me. But I think Statlander is the better AEW representation. She's one of the... it was good. See you again. Yeah. This is most of this show.
I think I've got my... Aerostar, Samurai Del Sol versus FTR.
Callisto.
Pardon?
Callisto.
Yeah, Callisto. I was getting to that. And Aerostar from Lucha Underground. We were very happy.
I mean, he does jump on his head a couple of times in this match.
And we were expecting Drago to turn up with his JCB. FTR win by roll-up and holding the ropes. Thoughts and scores for the match?
I spent most of my... I started off going, I don't think he's an actual samurai, and I was preparing to take the piss out of that, but God fucking damn Samurai Del Sol is good. Tested Aerostar, I always love to see him. I didn't like FTR's 80s lift music they're now coming into, and even JR criticised it. This what had some phenomenal luchadoring in. Samurai is really good. He opened with that handwalk thing. It was a solid luchador versus roller match. FTR did some solid heel taking control. Didn't lose its pace in picture-in-picture, which is nice. The two styles blended really, really well together. And FTR get the dirty win. Was it who won? Did you again? It was FTR, wasn't it? Yeah. Obviously, they've got the belts.
Yeah, FTR the dirty win.
They got the luchas over as fuck, and that's what matters when you're winning, even if you win dirty. I think it was good, and I really, really enjoyed it. I don't think I can give it a B, because there were some botches in it, and not a massive amount of story. But out of how entertained I was and how happy I was to see Little Aerostar, I will give it a high C. It was good plus, didn't quite cross into the true storyline for me. What do you reckon?
Got a low B from me.
Alright, so we're on a similar page, basically. Yeah.
And you probably crossed over into low B because of Aerostar, because that made me and the Raptor pop.
Yeah, no fair. It is lovely to see him, isn't it?
Lucha Underground people turn up and we get happy.
You're not wrong. Bring back Marty again. I love Marty.
Okay, so Shida backstage segment and Nia Jax. Sorry.
Nia Jax
Nyla
comes
Rose,
in to injure her.
Nyla Rose interrupts. Just because I've written it down in shorthand and it looks like I've written Nia.
Obviously, like 90% of the show, I've given it a C. It's a solid Nia oh God, no, I've done it. It's a solid Nyla interrupt. It's a build-up to their match. But I've got to admit, I'm a little bit tired of seeing Shida and Nyla.
That was my problem with it. It's Nyla doing all this. Oh, you're gonna face me, and Shida should have just turned around
beat
and
you
gone,
a few times.
Every time I faced you, you've done this, and I've beaten you.
Yeah.
That title you used to have.
I appreciate AEW is trying to build up, some long-lasting feuds and rivalries between characters, but I've got more interest out of Deeb versus Shida recently than seeing her go against Nyla.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Well, I think the actual feud is Deeb, and I have a feeling Deeb will come and cost Shida the match.
That makes sense. Nyla needs...
so Nyla will finally get her win over Shida. And yeah, you are playing on the long-standing rivalries, which are something I'm quite keen on.
I'm keen on it. I just think we could
really, really good. So when when Kevin Steen comes over to AEW, and he's hurriedly followed by El Generico, those two are going to feud because they've feuded every fucking where they've been. They're well known for being best mates who will have a massive fight. And I don't mind that.
Sammy comes over. I'm going on a sidetrack now, Morg, I'm afraid. If Sammy comes over, I have the potential of seeing the men of low moral fibre, Chuck and Kenny Omega, bullying El Generico because he's not allowed in towns they're in. And I might get to see Pac and El Generico in a Scar-themed tag team. And if I love Punk, I adore Scar. Yes. Sorry, yes, good for you.
All your dreams coming true.
Yes, mate.
Right, let's get back on to this show. Inner Circle, in-ring segment, American Top Team, unsurprisingly interrupt, as was expected. Thoughts?
Right, okay, I have complained about being sick of the Boomer people. Not that I don't think they've got a good promo game, and not that I think that it's good fun. But they've just been on every show in every moment. And it was this point in the show I started to realise there's not actually a lot of wrestling in this episode. There's a lot of wrestling in quotation marks, and this moment is very wrestling. Got a Road Warriors quote. I always pop for a Road Warriors quote. We know I'm a big fan of the LOD. Jericho is obviously ace on the mic. He points out that one guy looks like Popeye, and he does. Don't know the name of Whammin's MMA woman, but she's got some game on the mic, and I think she'd be a good other person to transition in, if I'm honest. She knew what she was doing, and she portrayed herself with presence. She did give Jericho a wonderful opening, as he said this shit writes himself, and I laughed.
Yes.
I'd arguably give it a C+. It's a very good build-up to what's coming. The obvious Dan Lambert pick, which you predicted long ago. Very wrestling, very entertaining. I'd give it a high C, but I'm ready for a break from them.
So it got to be from me, but only because of how well Dan Lambert sold the moment.
Yeah.
Because he sold it exactly like he, and yet again proved that if he doesn't watch wrestling, he is lying, and has just been
apparently
lying to
he's
us. How is he this
some
good?
In the past. He did some TNA stuff in the past, apparently, so that would explain it.
He is just this good. So I did hear a bit of a thing about Junior Dos Santos. I believe it was Jericho said that guy is virtually ready. Apparently, he did his match the other week with just like an hour's training.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't brilliant. He wasn't early Brock Lesnar when he was really good levels, but he wasn't bad.
Good. In honesty, much as I don't care about MMA and have no interest in it as a sport, it's a great place to cross over with. If you want to be a wrestler who wants to do some legit fighting, you can go do it. And if you're an MMA fighter who wants a break from being seriously injured and only going down to lightly injured with a chance of high injury, where you can actually work on your presence and stuff, why not have a good crossover? Why not enjoy it? So yeah, I'm pro interactions. I could just use a holiday.
Right, I've got a feeling we're about to start firing through some stuff here.
Yep, let's go.
Okay, Matt Sydal, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, and some other guy promo. Meh, it's all right.
D. Moriarty. No, I'm going to have a little say about something here. Matt Sydal's gimmick is that he's a Buddhist, basically, yeah? Like Taoist Buddhist, philosophical, peaceful man, taps his forehead, knows the way of Tranquilo. He's not very namaste about his old student leaving, is he? Be a little bit more namaste about that. I'm just saying. Otherwise, meh, skippable. Let's go.
So then we had Jamie Hayter with Rebel and Britt Baker versus Anna Jay in a TBS Championship tournament. Hayter wins with the short arm lariat, beat down on Anna, Ty Conti for the save. Thoughts and scores on the match?
Got a good wrestling start. Went straight into picture in picture, and the match slowed down a little bit for that. Hayter gets the standard issue heel control, slow, some holds, some shenanigans to maintain that. Hot, brutal comeback for Jay post the break. We get some shenanigans, and that lariat was fucking evil. I think this match had a lot of potential, and they should have had a longer match. I am glad Hayter won, even if there were shenanigans and things involved, because I think she was starting to look a bit weak, and she's really good and a Stardom lass, and I love them. I'll give it a C. It was solid, but I think they could have done more with it.
Yeah, got a C from me. Nothing more to add to that. Following on from that, Jade Cargill promo.
I love Mark, and he makes Jade. Like, she's great. She is a wonderful, phenomenal glamazon of a woman, and she is a proper beast. But Mark, as the little snidey shitlord next to her, is wonderful. But once again, a C. Guess what this ranking for this show's going to be, Morg? Can you guess?
I can't imagine. So, MJF and Darby in ring promo.
Really, really good MJF in this one, because he didn't go to all of his normal local sports team, bad, you play computer games and are virgins. He came out, solid speeching, he had a great build of Darby for him. MJF is the master of getting the crowd to chant his opponent's name. It's just like, oh, you like to chant his name, and they just start. It's above average healing. 10 out of 10 from MJF. Darby said very little, which is the best way to use him, if you ask me. He's not got the strongest long promo game, but just going, now, beat your ass now, was good. Sting's minions came back, the Stingians. I joked it was all of the WWE releases with masks on, which is probably a little bit rule of me.
Never too soon.
Never too soon. Fell apart a bit with Spears and Wardlow coming out, because I didn't see him come out there. Then I was like, oh, Spears and Wardlow is here. It started really strong, fell apart a bit, but it was a fine pre-pay-per-view rumble / build to what's coming. Can you guess what I've given it, Morg?
I bet you gave it a C.
I did give it a C. I think if it had been a bit tighter, it could have got up to a B. It fell apart a bit at the end for me. The one guy wasn't wearing his mask properly, and you could see half his face, and it bugged me.
Okay, following on from that, Andrade versus Cody. Andrade wins. Hammerlock DDT after interference from FDR. Then a beatdown on Cody and Lucha Brothers for the save. Thoughts and scores?
For this match, I paused it, and my partner and I predicted how many people would actually be involved in this match and, perform moves. I lost with my prediction of 5. Ruth won with her prediction of 6 people would be in this match, and there were. It's a good aggressive start. It's what always bugs me. It's what always makes me fucking angry. Cody, although I am kind of feeding on the boobs of Cody's for Cody, he did get cheered for his punches, which was, I suppose, nice for him. And Andrade knocks him out the ring. Andrade did a cool out the ring flip at one point. It was really awesome. I like Andrade. Andrade beats Cody out the ring, then goes out to go out after him out the ring, and the ref stopped him. Like, no, you can't chase this man out of the ring. And that pissed me off a bit, because that's a thing you can do in wrestling matches. Then we got a few more good exchanges. Andrade did a figure 4. Cody rolled it over. And the assistant did a thing. Then Arn did a thing. Then FDR did a thing. And we got a fucking lame finish. I've got so many criticisms. 1, do you remember what happened when Andrade beat Pac, but it was unfair? Yeah. Remember what Andrade said? Yes. He said, I'd beat you properly. So now he's just cheating. That part of his character is gone. Cody can't book a match without having his entire fucking family and everybody else show up, apparently. Why? Are FTR going to break off with Andrade as the closest thing to Ric Flair and Malachi and be 4 horsemen? That's possible. The most entertaining thing in this match is like an actual solid story thing, because Cody and Andrade are both good wrestlers. I imagine Andrade can book a better match than Cody. The most interesting thing is the fact we got Arn and Tully shoving each other. I was like, yeah, go on, old boys. Get your Glock on. Yeah, Penta runs out. He had a nice jumper on. I liked Penta's jumper. I'd wear that. It had lots of white spirals on a black background. I hate the Codyverse, Morg. I hate it. I hate it so much.
But what score did you give the match?
I wrote mess. That's a D.
I gave it a C. The match itself I quite enjoyed. It's just a bit clusterfucky. I'm just used to it. You have to have a clusterfuck match every now and again.
It's every match with Cody. I underpredicted there'd be 5 people involved in the match. Underpredicted.
I think the thing I'm most gutted about was this should have been a classic old school Cody B. Him and Andrade should have just put on a B.
Stopped wrestling. Like, the previous match had 4 million things coming in the 8 wrestlers in the on spot. Before that, we had to have he had to come back and beat Malachi and Malachi had to do heel things so he'd get booed. Before that, we had his fucking tap the ring posts meme match with QT Marshall. Why can't he just have a wrestling match anymore? Why can't he just go out, put on 15 minutes of wrestling that he's very good at, and win the crowd back? Because I'll tell you why people are booing you, Cody. Because they're fucking sick of this shit. Just wrestle. Don't do a heartfelt promo afterwards and take your boots off. Don't go on about how you're solving equality in America. Don't tell us about your TV series and how much you love your wife. Come out, do a wrestle, fuck off. Please. Just once. Once this year. Sorry.
Well, you've got 2 months left.
Oh, God.
Right, John Silva in-ring interview.
Name's not Johnny Hungy. Stop calling him that. You can add it on the end. Ted Budge, I laughed. They're trying to get that over a bit more. He's not the best promo, though I will amend this when I do my Rampage in a bit. But neither was Scott Steiner. He's like a friendly Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner for good, if that makes sense. So, yeah, it was good enough. I don't think Silva's going to be winning any, stand in the ring promo awards. He's never going to be up... Wait, I say never. He's not up there with MJF or whatever, but he got over as a tiny face Scott Steiner for me.
Yeah, it was good.
Getting a push.
Again, it was a C.
Yeah, a lot of that this show, isn't there?
Yeah.
You ready for the next show afterwards?
Bunny and Red Velvet promo package.
Solid women's promo section. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Guess what? It was a C. And finally, Bryan Danielson joins commentary and we get Orange Cassidy versus Miro. Miro wins with the game over that he is made look so much more brutal. Thoughts and scores?
I might change the rank I've got written down here as I rethink about it. Maybe I'm becoming a bit more positive because of the bank of C ranks we've got and that D. Yeah, we get a nice fun dodge, kicks, hand in pocket start. It was a nice comparison between the Beast and the Trickster. Orange Cassidy when he dodged and then did his little kicks on the legs and then he just got fucking Hadoukened. I love that. Did go straight into picture-in-picture, which was a bit weird for me. I thought this would have warmed up before, but Hero takes solid control with heel 101 in picture-in-picture. It's a little bit slower, but he does a load of big fucking impact slams and a lot of taunting, and I'm more forgiving of the slowness if people are getting hurled about. Worked the injury, pulled off the tape, he told the story, which is good. Post-break, we get some solid exchanges. A brilliant beach break out of nowhere that Miro kicks out of, obviously. And then we get the set injured area, working, which has been worked. So it's a tap out through a submission that's had a core injury done on it. I have just given it a C. Because it was good. It wasn't the best match, but obviously these boys threw this together with a week's notice. I could, out of mercy for this show, roll it up to a B for the good storytelling in the ring. Arguably, it's probably just a high C, and I'm just being merciful on this show.
What do you think? C.
Right, okay.
With you. And guess what? I've muted myself again. For fuck's sake.
Oh, God.
I think that one was a double click. Right, yes, I gave it a C. fuck's sake. So just for those at home, the problem is I mute myself so you can't hear my chair squeaking or me having a coughing fit or what have you, but it doesn't mute me from Strange. So he can hear me talking. It's just the recording that doesn't.
God damn you, technology.
So I gave it a C. I believe that, we give Bs, and I agree with you, that the in-ring storytelling was brilliant, but I don't think it was enough to pull this match to a B.
No, you're right. You are correct. I was just being hopeful because of how good. Is it ranking time, Morg?
Yeah. It's ranking time. It's time for you to do those letter maths that you do to give us the overall rank for Dynamite. What score have you given Dynamite this week?
I'm going to be honest with you. We've actually got a lot more letters in the letter math grid than regular because there were so many segments in this show. We had not a lot of wrestling, a lot of promo segments. It was a bit like a Vince Russo Dubsy Dub show, but it is building up to the pay-per-view. So I get more character building and such like. So let me just look at this. It's a C, Morg. Would you believe it was a good episode?
I'm so shocked. Yeah, I mean it was all right.
Hasn't massively inspired, set me up to go wow for the pay-per-view, but it was good. I watched it.
It is the 2 week before pay-per-view one, so generally in most wrestling that one is you expect a C show. Next week, let's see.
No, it's over to me now, isn't it?
So it's over to you for Rampage.
The regular Rampage rundown, the RRR, or the RR as I like to call it. We've always called it that. We opened with Taz, Ricky Starks, and Excalibur on commentary. I'm actually getting my proper notes down now, so I can act a bit more like you when I'm doing this. We open with Murder Vegan Goat, Bryan Danielson versus Anthony Bowens. Danielson wins with the label lock and a tap out, because I've complained about him just choking people out recently. We get a solid, safe rap from Caster as he comes out to insult B-Dan beforehand, as he does. B-Dan sort of laughed through half of it, and I think there were a couple of mini shoots in there. So that was nice.
That was because they called out Head of Talent Relations, John Laurinaitis.
Yeah. But I'm glad to see Caster has learned to scale himself depending on whether he's on Dark or on mainstream TV, shall we say. Dark is a lawless place with Excalibur and Taz. We got a lockup! Opened with lockups and some wrestling, and Bowens takes the lead with just a really nice technical wrestling between the two of them. Had good pacing, a lot of solid counters, and it's nice to see people wrestle every now and then. Shenanigans during the break, obviously. Dan Housen actually called that out on Twitter as well. He was informing Ref Aubrey that Caster was cheating. Owens maintains control once again, how to work your heel during the break. He builds some heat, they do some bad things. It's standard. We come back to a nice exchange of strikes. We get to see those wonderful kicks Daniels does. Bowens did an elevating twisted DDT thing, which he called the Arrival, in the corner on Daniels, and it was fucking ace. And I've got to specifically note that down. And then we had the heel takedown, the roll through, a bunch of different stuff into a label lock. It was good. I'd go so far as say I actually really enjoyed this match. This was a proper wrestling match. Not a lot of story, so I'm reluctant to give it a B. But this is one of the more interesting Rampage matches I've seen, and I'd give it a high C. I've got really solid, good without too much behind it. Do you like it?
Unmute myself. I enjoyed it. I gave it a C. It was just a solid match. So, Bowens isn't an old hand in the ring like most of the people that Bryan has been facing recently. So,
I can wrestle anyone. He's immense.
Yeah.
I love him. Got my list of favourites, if that wasn't massively obvious. Then Andrade paid FDR and MJF for their interference in the Cody match, even though he used to be the man with honour who would fight people who were cheated against. And then bald FDR called out Pac, so presumably he can lose to him on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Can't say it's bad. I can say it's a complete twist of Andrade's character. I'll see where it goes. Maybe it's a 4 Horsemen thing. It's been teased for fucking forever. Yeah. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, not really.
Right, okay. The Punk and Eddie section. Punk does a talk, calls out Eddie, says my ring. Taz gets mad about it. Eddie comes out. Solid shout, shoot, energy between the two of them. Eddie did say buried people. That makes me sad. I don't like the meta words. We've covered that before. Then they had a fight. Big improv shoot energy, as I said. You could tell from Punk's eyes, he actually had to think about his responses, which is rare because normally he's better than most people at the improv game. And they probably went for each other, and people came out to separate them. It was good. It was. I'd give it a B for storytelling.
Yeah, I feel the problem with this is that Eddie was supposed to be the heel, Punk's supposed to be the face, and Eddie cut a really difficult promo. It was still very Eddie, but it wasn't overly heelish. And Punk was, I think, trying to respond in a babyface way, going, yeah, there's no win here. And I don't think that was Eddie shooting on Punk or anything else. I just think the storyline that they're playing with is just a very difficult one for the way.
I'm actually more interested because of that. I'm more interested in the fact that neither of these two are reading us. Eddie is being passive aggressive and vulnerable narcissist, but has at least in kayfabe, been shit on by Punk and has some beef with him. Punk was like, yeah, we did shit on you. Fuck you. And I was like, oh. So no, I'm intrigued to see where this goes. I'm actually a good build for a match.
Yes.
Do you rank it?
To be fair, I will be honest, it's a match I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, no, as I said, I'm not the biggest Punk fan in the ring. Nothing against him. He's good, but he's very good on the mic. And I'm glad we had like a break from him, not last week, but the week before. So his words sort of matter again to me as opposed to Punk's 5 minutes. Yeah, good. It's weird that we've already got some higher ranks than the previous show here, and it's fucking Rampage.
Yeah.
Then Tony interviewed Jurassic Express and their dad. Jungle Boy's growing facial hair, very grown up of him. Age is good, obviously. We know he's good on the mic. He's been good on my mic forever, and it was just another Full Gear match call out. There's a few of that going on in this.
Yeah, it was all right.
It was all right. Yeah, it's a lot of pay-per-view shout-outs this week, isn't it? Right, then Bunny versus Velvet. Velvet wins with the final slice, which is a good name for your cake-based gimmick. Velvet zooms into the ring for a high assault start. We get some solid exchanges between the two. I've been complimenting Bunny on getting better recently because she was clumsy when she first started, shall we say, and she has grown on me and got more chemistry, people. Then Velvet hit the final slice and won. That was the match. It was like, I don't know if it was under 7 minutes, but it certainly fucking felt like it was under 7 minutes. Which makes me not want to rank it. What did you reckon?
I gave it a low C. It wasn't hideous. It didn't make me want to scratch my eyes out. It wasn't really a squash. But, yeah. First sub C I've given to a women's match in a while, though.
Yeah.
That wasn't just an out-and-out squash.
Which is, at least that's better than when we first started doing this, and every AEW's women's match was mostly a bit shit, or 3 minutes long, or no chemistry.
A bit shit and 3 minutes long.
Yeah. Right, okay, then Mark Henry interviews John Silva and Adam Cole, and I'd honestly think this is the best Mark Henry interview he's done on this show. They even took him out the middle. It made me laugh. It was fun. Adam Cole and the Bucks red as heels. Silver and Reynolds in the background, stone facing it. It just made me laugh. I think it was really good, and more like that, I guess. Then we go into Cole versus Silva, and Cole wins with, quotation marks, the boom, or a running knee to the back of the head.
It's called the last shot.
It's called the boom. I'm sorry, the last shot was copyrighted by WWE.
I know. But the last shot is just such a better name for it.
Right, okay, it starts with Cole kicking Silva in the head after he does his butch spot, which I laughed at. Then a bunch of great power shows for Silva. Cole, once again, takes some Healy control, but is selling his concussion from the concerto from Christian. I forgot his name there. Which was good. Slow down a bit in picture. A lot of rest holds and things. Not the biggest Adam Cole fan, Morg, so maybe I'm underwhelmed by him. Silva's come back post breaks. He caught a fucking jump into a Liger bomb, which is one of my favorite things that can happen in wrestling. I love any catch into a sit down power bomb alteration of some sort. And Silva has his absolutely great bursts of aggression and speed that he does. And he really shone in this match, which is obviously equally the work of Adam Cole, but I think he looked a lot better in this match than Adam Cole did. He caught a low blow catch, which is rare and pleasant. And he caught a Panama Sunrise, which made me pop because I fucking hate the Panama Sunrise. And Cole kicks him in the head a bunch, hits him with a boom, and wins. Silva mostly dominated the match. Everything was tight. Sorry, I'm still not seeing anything special in Adam Cole, other than the fact he is a fine worker. But solid enough. I'd give it a C again. It was good.
Oh, we finally differed.
Oh, what'd you give it?
I gave it a B. I really enjoyed this, but I do like Adam Cole. Baby.
I think we can have a discussion on this, because other than being the guy's friends and fitting in with the books, I don't see what he adds to the show. He's just another long-haired man with a beard. Anyway, I suppose we can discuss that at another point. Yeah. Unless you want to go now.
No. I am not mentally equipped to go for that one just now.
Yeah, arguably our ranks for this show come out higher than Rampage's, Dynamite's. We've got a high C with our combined rankings and skills here, Morg. It was good, plus it's a nice build for the pay-per-view, but overall our week's been good.
Yeah.
I don't know, you want good before you pay-per-view? I suppose we've got a Dynamite to go, haven't we?
Yes. And don't forget, they're generally very bad at their go-home shows. Those have been some of our lowest reviews, lowest scores have been go-homes.
A good week in wrestling, but I don't know, nothing's really stood out for me to follow. Nothing's like, oh, yeah, I want to see where that goes. I'm sort of like, oh, they fucked Andrade and Malachi. Cody doesn't want to be a heel. Everything else was good.
Right. What did you think? Were you annoyed by Cody Rhodes? Do you like Cody Rhodes? Do you think that he's just the next John Cena? Or do you think that's just a gimmick he's playing? Let us know. Wrestleopinionated@gmail.com. WrestleOP on Facebook. WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Right, before we go, I actually gave you a heads up this week of what we're doing.
You did. I'm ready to discuss.
But it's not going to be a discussion. It's a quick fire.
Oh, fuck, son. Shit.
Yeah.
And I said I wasn't going to prepare. Oh, come on, prediction master.
Right.
I've got what, one match wrong in like 5 pay-per-views?
Yeah. So we're going to do our full gear predictions. I am literally going to read the card out. And then we're going to just hit our predictions very quick. So without thinking about storyline or anything else.
Let's go.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Christian Cage and Jurassic Express versus the Super Click. Jurassic Express. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston.
Oh, this is the hardest one. Go with Eddie. I think they might go for a... Oh, no. Eddie has to hit the bottom because Mox is as well. It's Punk.
Yeah, Punk. Darby Allin versus MJF.
Darby.
Better have be. Oh,
It's
there's a lot of face wins so far. Lucha Brothers with Alex versus FTR with Tully.
Lucha Bros.
Yeah, Lucha Bros. Don't think it's time to take
It's
that
not
off
time
yet.
to lose their title yet.
Bryan Danielson versus Miro.
Ah. Firing on quick fire. Miro's just been thrown in, but they have surprised us with that before. Could Moxley have been the previous intended winner? Every instinct says it should be B-Dan, but I am gonna go with Miro. I think they do tend to do ones which break the paradigm, and I'm going to go with Miro.
Everything that I think says I should say Daniel Bryan, but I agree with you. I think Miro, I think a heel is a better challenge for... Well, let's move on to that. Oh, hang on. I think I've just lost sound. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm having to move the recording software and it keeps looking like it's pausing when I move it.
Cursed.
So I can keep an eye on it. Next on the list, Britt Baker DMD with Rebel and Jamie versus Ty Conte with Anna.
It's Britt again. She has to lose to Thunder Rosa when she wins the tournament.
Yeah, no, because that won't give her that. That tournament gives her the TBS championship.
Oh, okay. All right, she has to lose to somebody else anyway.
And then
anyway,
finally,
don't lose to it.
Our main event.
Man.
Yeah, Hangman. Because it's relevant to why I picked Miro.
He has been on the back step. They've held this. They've been waiting to pull the trigger on him for a while. He's just come back. He's got his kid. He's having his vengeance story. It's time. Miro ties in because although tag-ins don't normally win, that first couple of pay-per-views, I forget which one it was. It was the second pay-per-view of AEW when it was meant to be Moxley versus Kenny, and they tagged in Pac because Moxley had his staph infection, and they gave Pac the win. Ties in perfectly. B-Dan needs to get a loss. It's chain around his neck, as Kevin Nash said about Goldberg. And it doesn't hurt anyone to lose to Miro. He's a monster. And then he can fight Hangman. Reassures Hangman when he beats Miro. And Miro can finish off whatever this Redeemer arc is. Eddie loses to Punk, so he can be completely deconstructed to reconstruct himself in whether he's full face or heel now. I am happy with my my results. I'm happy with my choices.
Yeah, and we match on everything.
Oh, look at us go.
Yeah.
You know I'm the true predictor, Morg. I'm the oracle of wrestling.
I'm the booker, man.
Yep.
Right, there you have it. That's our show. I want to thank Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. If you want to find us, we are Wrestleopinionated on Anchor.fm, Spotify, and YouTube. Over to you, Mr. Strange.
Please do send us some shit in. I enjoy following them. If for every person who says I hate Cody Rhodes, I will write 10 lines in a rant about why we should hate him some more and continue that. But otherwise, thank you for listening. We do appreciate it. Please click like, share, subscribe. You can click dislike if you want. It doesn't matter. The algorithm just reads interaction. Leave a comment if you can. Hit those little 5-bar heart things on Anchor and Spotify. And please check back with us next week where I will be vindicated in my results for my predictions.
Yeah, we got
Thank you again.
Week next week. 2 shows.
2 shows. Back to you, Morg.
All that's left to be said, goodbye and good night.